Guys, day one of the Diddy trial just started and it is worse than we even thought. The prosecution started with their opening statements and they are basically saying that Cassie at some point had some escort urinate in her mouth. Who gives a shit about Amber Heard shitting on Johnny Depp's bed at this point? Then there are other allegations about Cassie overdosing at a party with an open wound on her face from a previous assault that Diddy did. And on top of all of that, Diddy used to get aggressive with Cassie anytime she would take too long in the bathroom or when she would show up late to something. Honestly, on day one of the prosecution arguments, opening statement, whatever you want to call it, this case is already getting hard to read. Now we know why Cassie has been so loud and so vocal about the reason why she wants to speak out. As embarrassing as it is for her, and I'm sure it is extremely embarrassing for her, she knows that the only way to stop this is to speak out and to make sure that this man gets convicted. And so far, what it's being described in the courtroom is that Diddy is just looking off into space and just sitting there emotionless. I think this man knows that he's cooked already, and it's not going to end well for him. But again, if this is just the first hour of day one, I can't even imagine what we're going to see.
Patriots, I literally just stepped out of the Diddy trial. This is insane. I saw Diddy. He is in what looks to be a tan cardigan sweater, khaki pants. He's very gray. The front part of his hair is still black. He's like kind of stumbling around like he's somebody's uncle, which some people in there were saying, I wonder if he's trying to act old on purpose. But this is insane. Gloria Aldrich, the famous...
I'm a little nervous today, Diddy told the judge while asking for a brief break. Yup, that's how the first day of jury selection kicked off in one of the biggest celebrity trials of the year. I'm an attorney and I read what happened, so you don't have to. Inside the courtroom, Diddy ditched the jail uniform for a blue sweater and a button-up, but the nerves were clear today. After 7 months in custody and several denied bail requests, Diddy looked tense. In Manhattan federal court, nearly 600 potential jurors were summoned to ensure a fair and impartial trial. The defense has already tried to dismiss one woman who works at HBO, which incidentally released the documentary called The Fall of Diddy. However, the judge has denied their attempt to remove her. Michael B. Jordan's name was also read out to a potential juror from a list of names and places that will likely come up throughout the trial. Federal agents say they have receipts, videos, witness statements, and even claims that Diddy paid people to keep them quiet. From music mogul to federal defendant, this trial is just getting started. Let me know if you have any comments or questions and follow for updates because this trial's about to be a long one. Cassie is currently taking the stand in the Diddy trial, and her testimony has been deeply emotional. I'm an attorney and I read what happened, so you don't have to. Before I delve into this, I just want to put out another quick statement that I will not be delving into the explicit details of her testimony, as this video will likely get taken down. But also a warning that her testimony does involve DV, so if that is a sensitive subject, please keep scrolling. Let's get into it. Cassie told jurors today that during her 10-year relationship with Diddy, violence was a regular occurrence. According to her, arguments often turned physical. She described being dragged, kicked, and even having her head slammed. When asked how often this happened, she responded frequently. She spoke of black eyes, bruises, and visible knots on her forehead, all as a result of the DV she endured. The courtroom fell silent as she identified a still image from the hotel surveillance, the same video that surfaced last year. She confirmed that it showed one of these violent incidents that she's referencing. Then came testimony for what she called as freak-offs, which is a term for encounters with paid individuals or third parties. Cassie testified that at first Diddy arranged them, but then he put that responsibility on her and had her arrange them. She described being just 22, confused, nervous, and deeply in love, just wanting to please Diddy, even when she didn't understand or want what was going on. She testified that she eventually felt like she had no choice. Cassie testified that she feared both blackmail and violence from Diddy if she said she no longer wanted to participate. She described Diddy as both polarizing and charming, someone who could manipulate the moment to make her question her own needs and her own safety. Cassie's testimony is just getting started, so we'll see how the rest unfolds, and let me know if you have any comments or questions down below.
Mom, there a message for the alleged victims? Is there a message for Cassie?
Okay. Yeah. They go quiz. Open it up. Open it up.
Is there any message for the alleged victims?
Do you still believe your dad's innocent?
Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still
How did you feel hearing that testimony yesterday?
Anything to say
You still believe that your dad's innocent?
Any message to the alleged victims?
Young Diddy, what's up? Need some update, man.
All right, y'all. Cassie is stepping into the courtroom. And if you thought this trial was already wild, buckle up, because her testimony might be the most explosive moment yet, or even through this whole trial. TMZ just confirmed that Cassie's lawyer, Douglas, said she's next to take the stand, possibly. And get this, it could happen as soon as today. Her camp said she'll be testifying in a very short order, and that's legal speaks for she's next. Why does this matter? Cassie's not just a former partner. She's at the center of the most damning allegations against Diddy, from the freak-offs to the hotel's assault video, and even the claims of trafficking and abuse. If anyone knows where the bodies are buried, figuratively speaking, it's Cassie. Diddy's team should be sweating. This isn't some vague accusations from a distant associate. This is someone who shared a bed, a label, and a decade-long relationship. And now she's testifying against him. If she speaks and it's consistent with her past lawsuit, that courtroom might go nuclear. What's next? She hasn't taken the stand yet, but her lawyers announced signal that it's coming fast. And you already know I will be right here breaking it down the moment it happens. So stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready, because if Cassie speaks, baby, the tea won't just be hot. It will be historic. Y'all, I don't know if we're really ready for this trial, because the things in here, it's really going to be wild. Very wild. But buckle up. Because remember, one of Diddy's attorneys quit a couple of weeks ago. This man defended Osama bin Laden. But he said, you, Diddy, I draw the line here. So you know that's bad.
Cassie Ventura is set to testify against Diddy today. It is day 2 of the Diddy trial, and now the biggest star witness, Cassie Ventura, is about to testify later on today against Diddy. I expect that this testimony is probably going to be one of the longest testimonies, since we know that Cassie Ventura is the star witness and she was in a relationship with Diddy for over 10 years. Cassie Ventura's testimony is going to be a lot. She's probably going to be very emotional because we know she is very pregnant and she is having to relive all of her trauma all over again. And I am very curious to see how Diddy's team cross-examines Cassie Ventura. Since she's very pregnant, I'm wondering if they are still going to try to grill her, because that will not look good to the jury. During Cassie Ventura's testimony is when the exhibits will be shown, pictures, text messages, and even the freak-off videos will be played for the jury. Now, because of the explicit nature of these freak-off tapes, they are supposed to be sealed only to the jury and not to be seen by the public. Last night, some mainstream media put in a motion to the judge to ask them to have reporters in the room so they can report what happened in these freak-off tapes in real time. All of these big news organizations, such as the Associated Press, the Business Insider, the New York Times, they requested that each one get to have 3 reporters inside that are going to be able to watch these videos in real time. That way they can report back information. Cassie and her lawyer did respond very quickly to the judge, saying, no, this is supposed to be sealed evidence because the explicit nature, only to the jury. They don't want people from the press actually watching and hearing these videos. But it says in Cassie Ventura's testimony, she is going to describe these videos in detail in an open courtroom and will be subject to cross-examination. The defense will be able to question Cassie on what the sealed videos depict. So Cassie Ventura and her lawyer are saying during her testimony, she is going to get into a lot of detail about these freak-off videos, and she is also going to be asked questions about it during Diddy's cross-examination of her. So they don't feel like the press should be able to watch these sealed videos that are supposed to be only for the jury's eyes. While the media is claiming this is something that they need to report on because these freak-off videos have been talked about for a long time, so they want reporters in that room to be able to watch watch and hear what is happening on these videos in real time. Another big thing that I didn't see anybody talk about yesterday was the fact that Cassie Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, was already in the courtroom hearing all of these graphic details about what happened between Cassie and Diddy. I do have to say, Cassie Ventura has one heck of a husband. Like, this man is super strong to be able to sit in this court trial and listen to all of these horrific details come out about his wife's past and Diddy's past. I assume Alex Fine probably already knew a lot of these details. He has been somebody that has been very vocal on his Instagram for Cassie Ventura. Diddy's trial today will start off again with that second witness, the male worker who is testifying. So he is going to continue giving his testimony, and then this is when we will probably see Cassie Ventura take the stand. And this one is going to be one of the biggest testimonies against Diddy throughout this whole entire trial. But y'all, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
The witness testimony in Diddy's case today is going to leave your jaw on the floor. The courtroom wasn't just tense, it was traumatized. And baby, even his daughters had to step out. Yeah, let's get into it. The first witness was Israel Flores, a former hotel security guard. He testified about the incident involving Diddy and Cassie. He saw Diddy drag her by her hair down the hallway and into the hotel room. And his words, Diddy looked devilish. And they've got surveillance footage to back it up. This isn't just word of mouth. They brought the receipts. The second witness was an escort, and his shocking confession blew everyone's mind. His name was Daniel Phillips, and he testified Diddy paid him thousands of dollars to engage in actual acts with Cassie while Diddy watched. He said Diddy would get violent and aggressive, and one time he allegedly threw a bottle at Cassie and dragged her again. And he screamed at both of them. And get this, Daniel said he was so disturbed, he stopped showing up. The escort walked away. That should tell you everything. This is a pattern, not a one-off. Prosecutors aren't just building a case, they're building a timeline. They're showing the pattern of abuse, manipulation, and power trips masked by fame and money. These weren't just freak-offs. They were alleged operations of control. There are over 100 devices seized from Diddy's homes. Phones, hard drives, computers, and the Fed said it will take a month to go through it all. Courtroom energy was heavy. The testimonies were graphic that Diddy's daughters left the room. Yes, his own family couldn't sit through it. The public gallery was shocked. The jurors were reportedly stunned. This isn't just tea, it's gasoline on fire. Diddy's lawyers are saying this was all consensual between adults. They admit he has a temper and passed with drugs, but they are saying that doesn't make him a criminal. But when the prosecution is dropping tapes and timelines and emotionally wrecked witnesses, that consensual card starts to fold. All eyes are now on Cassie Ventura, who's expected to testify soon. If she does, it could be the most damning moment of the entire trial. She's the thread that ties all of this together. Her testimony could make or break this case. Y'all, stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready, because the tea in this federal courtroom is hot, and we're just getting started. Y'all better get ready and buckle up.
Christian and Justin, like the way that they looked at each other, like finally somebody saying
they feel like telling the truth.
That's what it felt like. That's not what they said, but that's what it felt like. So we'll come back on the top of the next hour, because there's a whole nother witness, and they broke this witness down on the stand.
All right.
So we're taking a little bit of a break. Cassie just testified for about an hour and a half. She walked in with a brown fitted dress on. She was clearly visibly pregnant. She began by talking about how frequently she was abused when asked by prosecutors. She said things like too frequently, and said that she had knots on her head before, busted lip, swollen lip, bruises, that these things were normal for her. When asked about what is a freak-off, she talked about it being an experience where Combs watched Ventura have sex with other men, and she said that she learned about this concept within the first year of their relationship. Why she went along with it. When asked that question, she said, I was 22. I felt a sense of responsibility. I was confused, nervous, wanted to make him happy. So this is only the first hour and a half of her testimony. We're taking a lunch break, but when we come back, I'm sure we'll get more into the details of their relationship. Remember, though, this is a case about a criminal enterprise, sex trafficking, racketeering. So they're laying the foundation as to the relationship between Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura, Cassandra Ventura, but it's moving kind of slow right now, but we'll be providing another update when we get more information.
Those girls should have never been in that courtroom. I don't know who thought it was a good idea for those young ladies to be in that courtroom as their father's sex life has been put on display. No, let's be for real. Delilah, Jesse, I don't know if Chance was there, but none of those young ladies should have been in that room. I know they're trying to do the sympathy card, having those kids sit there behind him and cry and look like they're scared, which they are scared, but it's not appropriate. That has got to be some hard stuff to digest, especially having a male escort detail what this man allegedly did to the ex-girlfriend that he was dating. We say traumatized? I can say traumatized. Honestly, if Diddy was smart, he would tell them no longer to show up in court. Do not show up here. Do not allow them to be put through that. They've already gone through enough. Why would you allow them to go into that courtroom knowing good and well your whole life that is in the dark is about to come to light? No child should see that shit.
Someone said Cassie is just as guilty as Diddy. And honestly, that comment says way more about how we treat young women, especially young black and brown women, than it does her. Let's start with the facts. Cassie was 19 years old when she started dating Diddy. He was in his mid-30s. He had money, power, access, and control, not just over the industry, but over her life, her career, and her future. That's not an equal playing ground. That's grooming through glamour. Women are conditioned to comply. Let's be real. Women of color are constantly taught to be peacemakers, ride or dies, people pleasers, and we're told to stay quiet, be loyal, tolerate harm in exchange for love and protection. That's not consent. It's conditioning. And predators like Diddy know exactly how to exploit that. Holding the right people accountable, Cassie isn't guilty. She's a survivor of emotional, physical, and psychological manipulation. The only thing she's guilty of is surviving a system that was never built to protect her. And now she's taking the stand to speak up, even when people are trying to shame her for it. You don't have to be perfect to be a victim. You don't have to be silent to be believed. Cassie's courage is loud, and the truth is louder. Let's make sure we're not blaming the survivor when the predator is on trial.
I can never remember what I said over here. How's he doing? He's doing fine. Dr. King called it the law of unintended consequences. So sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get. And so he's making an adjustment. He had his family here today to support him. We really want to put an end to all of the clowning that we see on the internet. This is a serious proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
Anthony, is it a racist proceeding, as Mark has said?
Nobody's okay with staying in jail for now. Okay, thank you very much. That's it for today.
This P. Diddy case is gonna be a rough ride. Like, I've never in a long time heard about a case that is this despicable, inhumane, dirty, evil. Like, God literally gave you this so much wealth. The least you could do was to lay back, enjoy your wealth with your children and live your best life. But no, you thought you could just go and do some of the most crazy stuff ever heard of. Like, I just don't get it. Is this some demonic possession or what? God gave you these riches. Enjoy your riches. Enjoy your life. Praise God. Serve God. Enjoy your life. Even if you don't believe in God, but at least keep your hands clean and enjoy your money. But no, you want to go do the unthinkable. And you thought that you were going to get away with it? How could you dehumanize a fellow human being against their own will? The fact that you allowed those other men to pee in Cassie's mouth. I mean, you cannot even do that to your worst enemy. And I just don't get it. Why were the children even allowed in the courtroom to hear about their dad's most unthinkable, demonizing, evil, despicable, unthinkable evil that he had done to women and other people that are involved? How would you, in your goddamn senses, be doing stuff like that? You gotta be in some demonic possession to be doing that to a fellow human being. I keep saying it. I said, black men, these things were not found in you. I've known a lot of rich black people back home in Nigeria. I don't think they do stuff like that or somewhere else in Africa. How did you learn these demonic, evil tendencies, evil behaviors? How did you learn it? How did you learn it, rich black men? How did you learn it? Is it some kind of cultic stuff that you're into? Guys, what do you think about this case? Because this guy is not getting out of this case anytime soon. He's not gonna be out of prison. They're gonna nail him for years. It's not. So what do you think about the case? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and please like and share this video, and also hit on the notification bell, because I'll be bringing updates as regards to this case. See you soon. Have a great day.